Saluf Lava, this is Pacific Waves from RNZ Pacific. I'm Susanna Swiswiki. Coming up,
I've just recently retired and decided to make a retirement bucket list. And at the top of that bucket list is Kapa haka.
celebrating Matariki in Aotearoa. Also,
decisions to unilaterally pause core sector support reflect a patronising approach inconsistent with modern partnership.
Cook Islands Prime Minister slams New Zealand on funding pause and some new faces standing in Samoa's election. A group of Kapa haka novices are planning to celebrate Matariki this weekend with their first ever public show. Northland reporter Peter de Graaf has more.
Kiraro, kitopoi!
In a hall in Kerikeri, performers are practicing hard. But this is no ordinary Kapa haka group. These 40-odd people of all ages are a mix of Māori and Pākehā, with a sprinkling of Sri Lankan, Irish and German. Each has a different reason for joining Ngāti Rehia Community Kapa haka. For Tara Forsyth, it's a chance to reconnect with her culture.
But doing it away from my whānau, so I can kind of mess up without them all laughing at me. But I've also got 3 young kids who have really embraced Te Reo at school, so I figured that I needed to up my game. The kids laughed at me when I said I was doing this, so I'm out to prove them wrong as well, that mama can do it.
As for Jackie Cox, her mother was banned from speaking Te Reo at school, and she grew up without the language. Now she's making up for lost time.
I've just recently retired and decided to make a retirement bucket list. And at the top of that bucket list is Kapa haka. And it's something that I've always wanted to do for a long, long time. So here I am and I'm loving it.
Anna Dadson works on her own, so she's looking for connection.
I've been craving team and community, and the Kapa haka appealed because it was out of my comfort zone, so it's a challenge, and just coming together as a collective to sing and create joy and harmony just feeds my heart.
Blake Knock last did Kapa haka at primary school. He has a few reasons for signing up.
Pretty much to rejuvenate my Māori within me and also to get another haka under my belt.
Are you a bit of a haka fan?
I love it. I love the energy and the Māori that it gives me.
Meanwhile, Amanda Bates wants to be an example for her children.
I wanted to show my kids that it's never too late to step up and give something a go and to be proud of who we are and our culture.
The Kapa haka novices have just 8 weeks to learn a program of choral pieces, action songs, poi and haka. That's a big ask, says Tara Forsyth, who's juggling practice sessions with running a busy cafe and raising a family.
It's been amazing but daunting. I've had a few moments where I kind of doubted that I should be here. I didn't realise that the commitment would be as big as what it is, but in saying that, it's very worthwhile.
Tutor Sophia Thomas says she loves seeing the students master new waiata.
A lot of our whānau have spoken about their tamariki being the driving force of them joining this rōpū to learn more reo Māori, immerse themselves in a kaupapa that their kids love to do at school, but the joy that we see and the enlightenment our whānau get, there's no words to explain.
The group was founded by Rawi Pere of Ngāti Rehia, who says she wanted to give all nationalities a chance to embrace Te Ao Māori. So how does she think they'll feel come Sunday?
I think nervousness to start off, because having to look at the amount of people that's going to fill that auditorium. But I think that adrenaline will come in and then they'll be fine, because we're doing it as a Kapa haka whānau.
That's confirmed by Blake Knock, who admits to some pre-show nerves.
Oh, yeah. I'm a bit, feeling a little bit nervous, to say the least. But I think we're going to be on top of it. It's good to have all the group having your back so you don't feel so shy, you know what I mean.
Amanda's also nervous, but says the past 8 weeks have been life-changing.
It's filled my wairoa in a way that I didn't even really know was missing, like the support and the laughs and the shared purpose. I'm pretty grateful to be part of something that's big for my reo, my culture, but also my sense of belonging, I guess.
Ngāti Rehia Community Kapa haka will perform a one-off Matariki concert this Sunday at the Turner Centre in Kerikeri, together with a Vanuatu string band and a Samoan dance group.
Cook Islands Prime Minister Mark Brown says pausing nearly $20 million in development assistance is patronising and inconsistent with modern partnership. He made the comments on Thursday in his parliament. Caleb Fotheringham has more.
But I'm sure we can all get together and sing you a happy birthday for your birthday tomorrow.
Happy 50th birthday.
50th birthday.
Yeah.
Spring chicken.
You'd be forgiven for thinking there wasn't any tension with Aotearoa as Prime Minister Mark Brown sang happy birthday to the New Zealand High Commissioner who hosted Matariki celebrations in Rarotonga on Thursday night. But the next day in Parliament, Mr Brown was not mincing his words.
The relationship between the Cook Islands and New Zealand is defined by partnership, not paternalism. Decisions to unilaterally pause core sector support reflect a patronising approach inconsistent with modern partnership.
New Zealand has paused $18.2 million in development assistance, including $10 million in core sector support for the coming financial year. This represents 4% of the country's budget and was supposed to go towards health, education and tourism. New Zealand's Foreign Minister Winston Peters says the decision was made because the Cook Islands failed to adequately inform his government about several agreements signed with Beijing earlier this year. But Mark Brown says the 2001 Joint Centenary Declaration, or JCD, which governs their relationship, has not been breached.
The JCD makes it explicitly clear that the Cook Islands has full competence in the conduct of its foreign affairs, as well as full capacity to enter into treaties and international agreements in our own right.
Mr Brown says the countries are in disagreement over consultation obligations outlined in the declaration. He says political commentary from New Zealand has undermined genuine efforts to mend bridges.
We are committed to addressing this urgently. That is why we agreed to New Zealand's proposal to establish a formal dialogue mechanism to discuss the agreements and their implementation. This mechanism has met twice, in April and May.
Former New Zealand Prime Minister Helen Clark, who signed the declaration, says high-level face-to-face dialogue is needed. Her statement has been voiced.
There is no way that the 2001 declaration envisaged that Cook Islands would enter into a strategic partnership with a great power behind New Zealand's back.
Auckland University of Technology senior law lecturer and former Pacific Islands Forum advisor Sione Tikitiki says while New Zealand has every right to withhold its aid, the way it's going about it will not endear it to Pacific nations.
New Zealand's comparative advantage has always been its low-key diplomacy, and always been known in the Pacific for its benevolence, so to speak. But I think with what's happened in the last year or so, it's probably lost some of that reputation.
Mr Tikitiki says his perception of the Joint Centenary Declaration is that consultation works both ways.
There seems to be a perception of double standard, and I won't be surprised if Pacific nations are thinking the same thing. But again, I don't know what they're discussing. I don't know whether New Zealand is sharing any information. But if they're not, then there's a question there about why is one country expected to share and the other one isn't.
Adrian Hosking-Tinirau with Cook Islands Chamber of Commerce says money no longer going into the country is bad news.
Any potential impacts on our economy and the wider business community are a significant concern. However, we would expect the government of the Cook Islands to carefully consider any impacts.
A spokesperson for Winston Peters says they would not make any further comment regarding Mark Brown's statement in Parliament.
There are only 10 weeks left before Samoans head to the polls and some new faces are joining old hands at the starting line. Several high-profile public servants have resigned to contest the elections and a few former private sector CEOs are among the candidates being nominated. Grace Weber filed this report.
The most high-profile public servant to throw their hat in the ring so far is the Director of Health, Aiono Dr. Alec Ikiroma. His resignation, effective on the 30th of this month, was officially announced by the Ministry of Health last week. Aiono says he feels he will be more effective at bringing about change in Parliament, and he has decided to run under the Fast Party banner.
You know, sometimes you push and push, but certain things don't get done. So I thought that I will throw my hat in the ring and try to push from a different angle. So I chose to run under the banner of the FAST party, mainly because there's strong support for the FAST party in my electorate.
Aiono tendered his resignation 6 months before the end of a 3-year contract and has faced criticism online for his decision. Some critics even questioned his eligibility, alleging he has not lived in Samoa for the required minimum period of 3 years.
I am eligible. I've actually checked all the requirements and also looked up my passport because I need to have the time in the country, which is 3 years, and so they've all checked out.
Another high-profile public servant looking to join the election race is Land and Titles Court Judge Whamwina Leilua o Paposoani, who hasn't yet declared what banner he intends to run under. However, he is waiting on a warrant from Head of State, Tui Maleali Ifano Va'aletoa Swalauvi II, to release him from official duties.
We are under a special commission under the Ministry of Justice, and we will wait for a warrant from the Head of State to make our resignations official as LTC judges. The deadline for nominees is on July 12. By that time, the warrant should be issued by the Head of State.
Under the Human Rights Protection Party banner, Tia Graham Tualaulele, former clerk of the Legislative Assembly, is intending to compete for the Waimaunga No. 4 seat against caretaker Minister of Police Faualo Harry Schuster of the newly formed Samoa Uniting Party. Alongside Tia in HRPP is former Digicel CEO Bebe Christian Fruin, as well as the president of Lakapi Samoa, Namulau Ulupapa Li'i Leota Sami Leota. Tia spoke to local media at HRPP headquarters after being presented by executives by his village council and supporters. He says he is standing for his constituency.
I will make sure to voice the concerns and the needs of these people in Parliament. These developments include health, education, employment opportunities for youth and better roads.
Another newly formed political party, Samoa Labour, has a former Human Rights Protection Party member, Fa'aolasa Katopa'u Ainu'u, who was also served as Justice Minister from 2016 to 2021. The newly launched party is campaigning on economic reform and family welfare. Its secretary told local media they planned on fielding 14 candidates. Fa'aolesa says they created the new party because they felt snubbed by HRPP.
That is the decision from the HRPP executive to pick their candidates, and I don't think we are needed there anymore, and believe they will be in a much better boat with someone else.
Caretaker Prime Minister Fiamea Naomi Mata'afa, who was sacked from FAST, has formed the Samoa Uniting Party. At the SUP launch, Caretaker Prime Minister Fiamea Naomi Mata'afa said something new and important has emerged from Split, which effectively brought down her government, triggering this early election.
But behind that is God's will as to why things happen. Let us talk about now, not remain in the past. But the situation on where we stand and our duties in Cabinet remain.
There are 5 political parties officially registered with the Electoral Office for the upcoming elections. They are HRPP, FAST, SUP, Samoa Labour and Samoa Tūla'i Party. The country heads to the polls on Friday, 29th of August, with pre-polling starting on the Wednesday.
A team of Australian cyber experts flew to Tonga this week after the country's national health information system was breached, leading to a demand for payments from the hackers. Talanoa o Tonga reporter Sifa Pomana says the Health Minister, Dr. Ana Akauola, has told Parliament the system has been shut down and staff are handling data manually. The minister said hackers had encrypted the NHIS and demanded payments, but promised not to damage the NHIS data. This is the first ransomware attack on the NHIS system, introduced in 2019 with Asian Development Bank support to digitise Tonga's health records before going live in 2021. Mr. Pomana spoke to Don Wiseman.
You know, it was dinner time, so it was on radio. So it was just part of the day's discussion that was still going on into the evening. And then somehow in that part of the discussion, it was, you probably are aware, the government is going through the debate of the budget for the next financial year. And it was at that part where they were discussing the budget allocation for the Ministry of MADEC, which is the Environment, Climate Change Ministry that covers all that. And so the minister for that particular department, who is the Deputy Prime Minister, the Honourable Dr. Daniel Fuchsmalohi, he just alerted to that. He, in his discussion, said, there was, by the way, a hack into the National Health Information System. And then discussion kind of diverted to that, and they had the Minister for Health come on to report. And then, so the story we had was basically built on from her disclosure.
It seems remarkable, doesn't it, that it's just something that's casually mentioned in Parliament, yet these hackers are demanding gazillions of dollars. How much exactly?
There was no exact figure. That's yet to be confirmed, but we do know because the Minister of Police in the discussion said that from the intelligence unit, they confirmed that the hackers are demanding millions of dollars in US dollars. So that's what we know right now. But as you said, yes, it was sort of casually mentioned in the discussion. Then a diversion went to the Minister of Health, who took some minutes to bring this up. Obviously, some of the members were, quite alarmed, especially the former Prime Minister, Sia Sovaleni, who has also, IT background. He understood, the gravity of the situation, so he pressed on, saying, I think concern is, was there any confidential information that was hacked, or was it, compromised somehow, somewhere? The Minister of Health cannot confirm that, except that she said it was a ransomware. And somewhere there, she said the guys, meaning they, the hackers, said that they would not damage. And in Tonga, she said they won't, I think the word closest to what she was saying was they won't damage the information, or it was something to that effect. And so we just reported saying she said they won't damage. So somehow they probably had spoken with them. That's the presumption there.
Relying on hackers to do something noble seems a bit misplaced.
Oh, very much so, sir.
But in terms of the health records, just how serious is this?
It's shut down the system completely, the digital system where all information, patient information, and the ministry information regarding, obviously, its patients are in. That's gone. They've gone from that to manually handling things as of this week. So just backtracking, what the Minister of Health said, it was on Saturday, I think she was alerted to it, and by Monday they realized that it was completely, they cannot do anything to the system. And so she had informed the Minister of MADEC, who's the Deputy Prime Minister, who took it up with the Australian High Commission, and then therefore calling on the cyber team to come from Australia. The team arrived yesterday evening, and so they're on the works. But yes, the situation has taken them offline. And so the hospital staff are working manually on the system. They also sent in a statement asking the public, if you do come in, especially those with clinics, the specific clinics, I could say those with diabetes, to bring a card, which is like the patient card, so they can help identify them and also just understand the progress of what they're coming in for. Because they're just offline now, they can't really see anyone's information, have an accurate determination. But which is worrying, because now you just wonder about diagnosis and everything else regarding specific patients.
The cyber team, how long are they likely to be there, and will they be able to solve this problem?
From last evening, that wasn't given. But as I said, I think by today's press conference, we'll find more information, because I think it's going to be a hot topic.
That's Pacific Waves for today. For all episodes, head over to rnz.co.nz/Pacific. We're also on Spotify, Apple and iHeartRadio. From myself and the RNZ Pacific team, tō whā sui fua.